Hi guys, welcome back to my second video on my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be going over what I read up until basically today, which is like the first week of July. I'm going to count what I read in May, like the last part of May, and then June, because May I didn't get much reading in the first half because of my college finals, but then I picked up after my classes ended. So we're gonna count the last part of May and then June. I don't have these in any particular order. I just pulled them off my bookshelf right just now. Anyways, our first two that I read are going to be the Bridgerton books. So, a little bit of backstory on this. I have watched the show and I really like the show. And I had, I don't know, like a year ago, I think I read the third and the fourth book, which is over Benedict and then Colin and Penelope, and I liked them. But then I never got to read the first and second because I was like, I just watched the show, it's fine. So in May, I read this book, and then I also read The Viscount Who Loved Me, the first and the second of the series, and I really liked them. This one, I will say, I liked a little bit less than this one, only because this one basically followed the plot of the show, and then this one had a little bit more detail to the love story that I liked a little bit more than I liked this one. Again, I like both of them, but I'm probably gonna say this one's a 3-star and this one's a 4-star. I don't really know exactly what genre this would be considered. I think it's more like billionaire romance kind of thing, but with a lot of spice in it. Anyways, the next trilogy that I read was the 50 Shades of Grey trilogy, which includes 50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades Darker, and 50 Shades Freed. I really liked these. Okay, the movie was okay, but the books were so much better. Like, I can't hold these. Anyways, I really liked the books. I think they added a lot more character to the characters. Like, I felt like I really actually enjoyed the characters more than what they were portrayed in the movies. I think the actors did a good job, but I liked having my own kind of spin on it. Anyways, but I really liked the books. They had a lot more detail than the movies did. They were really good. The next book I read in June was the last book of the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. This book is called Winter. It comes after Cinder, Scarlet, and then Cress, and then Winter. I like the series. I read Cinder back in middle school, but I never finished the series, and then this year I started reading Scarlet, and then I read Cress, and then I finally got to Winter, which was an 850-page read. It was quite a long read. It was okay. It wasn't as good as the original, the first book or the second book. It was okay. It was a good ending. I felt like there could have been more captivating, but then again, this book is kind of I could have read this in middle school. So if you don't know, this series is it takes on kind of like a fairy tale / fantasy science fiction version of common fairy tales. So you've got in Cinder it's Cinderella, Scarlet is the Red Riding Hood, and so on. So it's kind of like that take on it, but it's actually pretty interesting. But then just kind of as I read through the series, I was a little disappointed in the fourth book, but it wasn't a bad read. It was just maybe more of a 3-star read. The next two that I read in June, again, kind of another middle school read. I just felt like reading some nostalgic books. Anyways, I read these, The Elite and The One, which are the second and the third book in the Selection series, which the Selection series is kind of like The Bachelorette meets,
Yeah, The Bachelorette. Sorry, forgive me. I don't watch The Bachelor. It's either The Bachelor or The Bachelorette.
Takes on kind of a fantasy dystopian take, which is interesting. It was an interesting read. I liked it. I think the romance between the two main characters were actually really really nice to follow, and they're kind of they don't have spice in these books, so it's actually really kind of more young, but I like it that way. I like how it was more kind of a nostalgic feeling, reading a rom-com kind of thing. I liked it. It was good. I think the dystopian could have been a little bit better, but it's okay. Anna and the French Kiss. This book was okay. The synopsis of the story is kind of like this girl, her stepdad sends her off to a boarding school in Paris, and she kind of doesn't speak any French. It's kind of like Emily in Paris, but a high school version of that, and if she were at a boarding school, not a job. But it's actually really interesting, and she kind of meets this guy at the school, and they kind of become best friends, kind of like a friends to lovers romance. It was good. I liked it. I rated it 3 stars just because I feel like I've read better, but that doesn't discount it. It was a good story. My next book was a 5-star read. I really liked this book. Okay, It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. I absolutely fell in love with these 2 characters. So the main character's name is Piper. She is so cute. Anyways, I love how the author described their romance. It was so well written that I was literally giggling and just freaking dancing on the couch when I read this, because I was like, oh my gosh, it's so good. I can't get over it. It was a really good read. I love this book. 5 stars. Anyways, the synopsis is this rich girl, kind of from Los Angeles, really rich, doesn't really understand the concept of money, gets sent again by her stepdad to a small beach town. I think it's in Oregon or Washington. Anyways, she doesn't know anybody there, and she runs into this guy, and this guy just happens to, they always run into each other because it's a small town. They can't seem to have any time alone from each other, and then they fall in love, and it's so good. I can't recommend this book more. I actually bought one of the author's books already because I'm excited to read more from her. My next book is Happy Place by Emily Henry. This book has such high recommendations. Emily Henry as an author has really good recommendations, so I had to read it. I really liked this book. I went into this book thinking it was just going to be a romance, kind of a summer romance read, but I was surprised. I kind of came more out of this with more of a friendship for a love for your friends over time and how things change. But the romance kind of goes on a love story over a long period of time, and kind of losing each other but then finding each other again sort of thing. I liked it. It was cute. It was a good summer read. I read this while I was visiting family. It was really heart-touching, kind of the friendship aspect of this book. So I recommend it. It's really good. I think I rated this 4 stars. Okay, and my last book that I read in June is Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. This book is kind of it follows a pediatric resident, so I picked it up because I saw that on the back cover, and I hopefully want to become a doctor in the future, so I kind of like reading books that kind of take on kind of maybe my future career. Anyways, but this book follows a found you again love story, meaning they were best friends growing up, they were lovers, and then something happened, and then they came back, they found each other again later in life kind of love story. It follows 2 different timelines, so one, it'll flip between chapters of when they were kids, and then the next chapter will be current day. It's really good. The ending kind of made me a little sad, but I really liked it. It was good. It was a good book. Recommend it. Please read it. I think I rated this 4 stars. And that's all the books that I read in kind of the end of May going into June. Anyways, if you guys want to keep seeing what I'm reading, please keep watching my videos. I really appreciate you watching my videos all the way through. Hopefully I'll get a reading vlog up in the next week or so. Goodbye guys. Bye.